so that I can be married to this woman. And after I'm married to this woman, she was going to become my wife. Meaning to say, she'll be giving me everything that I want in terms of spiritual power, spiritual everything, but she's a woman from the sea. So we went to the sea, we stood by the sea, and then when we go to the sea, there were...
For 6 years, from the age of 20, up until when I was 26, I was married to a mermaid.
You are welcome to the End Time Truth Television, the channel for the lovers of truth, for the truth of the end time. So if you are a lover of truth, give us a subscription and God bless you. Shalom.
Hello, good people. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for being there. Without wasting your time, I'd like you to watch this video and let us talk about them. J. Israel is my brother. I call him my brother. And I'm not ashamed to say he is my brother. And I'm not ashamed to have, uploaded his videos and analyzed them in the past. So now that I'm doing this, I wouldn't be ashamed doing them as well. And I hope that those of you who had issues with me doing what I was doing that time will also maybe look at it and understand why I did what I did that time. And probably now I actually want to question certain things because if you ask me, I believed Jay's old stories more than the ones he is churning out today. He might be right, he might be wrong, but there are certain inconsistencies with what he is doing today. And this video you're about to watch will explain that. There was a certain interview he granted to Jackie Pamotse. I hope I got her name well. And so it was somebody that made a comment under the video I made where Jay was trying to expose Apostle Michael Oropo. And I've forgotten who made that comment. And it reminded me that Jay had actually told us something about attempting to get married to a mermaid before. Now, so I have his recent narrative and the old one that he talked about, and I have something to ask. I have questions to ask.
I was married for 6 years. I was married to a mermaid for 6 years. And one thing about this kind of marriage, it is not something that can be understood by people who don't have a spiritual ear to listen. For 6 years, from the age of 20 up until when I was 26, I was married to a mermaid.
I was saying that I was finding it a bit difficult to correlate what Jay I said before and some of the things he is saying now. And mind you, I'm not saying that he is lying. It's either that his memory is failing him or that, there were some things he kept back before that he has decided to reveal now. But I guess that in that revelation that there must be a correlationship between what he was saying in the past and now. It is not a must that he must use the same wordings that he used in the past to tell the story again, since he is trying to retell them again and again. There are so many of them, but I just want to look at this. I would like you to watch this video, please. Don't be sentimental. I'm not attacking J. Israel. J. Israel, I think that most of you who are, I don't know what I would say, but I guess that I know that I don't hate Joe Israel. I think let me just stop it there. I don't hate Joe Israel, so this is not hatred, but it's just about accountability and setting the record straight and not trying to confuse and bamboozle people. So I'd like you to listen to this, and from there we'll go to the next video.
I was married for 6 years. I was married to a mermaid for 6 years. And one thing about this kind of marriage, it is not something that can be understood by people who don't have a spiritual ear to listen. For 6 years, from the age of 20 up until when I was 26, I was married to a mermaid. I met this woman 6 times in person because she would appear once every year. But most of my interactions with this woman were spiritual interactions where she would come and sleep with me in the night. And one thing about this kind of marriage that I was in, it was a spiritual marriage. I was told that mermaids are very jealous. They are very jealous beings. Once you are married to a mermaid in the spirit, a mermaid will never allow you to get married in real life. Maybe many people have wondered, why is it that J. Israel has not yet gotten married up until now? Let me answer you. I was married for 6 years, and it was a spiritual marriage. And the main reason for this spiritual marriage was for power. Because once you are married in the spirit, sexual intercourse, I would make sure that almost every night, whenever this woman comes in the night, we would sleep together in dreams. She would sleep with me in my dreams. And when I wake up in the morning, I'll wake up with my private part. I could see that something was happening. At times I could wake up with, fluids all over my private part. At times I would sleep on the bed, and in the morning I'll wake up on the floor. At times I would sleep in my bedroom, and when I wake up in the morning, I wake up in the lounge, not knowing how I moved from the bedroom to the lounge. Now when this thing was happening, now I would make sure that if there are days that I don't want to sleep with this woman, I would stay up the whole night. I would stay up the whole night. I'll make sure that I take Red Bull. Those who used to be with me in East London, they know my love for Red Bull. I used to drink Red Bull like water to make sure that I don't sleep, because with time I got tired of this spiritual sexual intercourse that I used to have with this woman in the night. And she was very jealous in such a way that she made sure that the first relationship that I had, and I wanted to get married, I'll just wake up in the morning and I'll feel like I'm tired, and I'll just send a message and say, you know what, we can't continue with this relationship anymore. And I'll ask myself, what did this woman do? There is nothing. All the women that I've been in a relationship with, if you go and ask them, how did we break up? They're going to tell you that they don't understand how we broke up. One time we were okay, then the next thing, my heart was just black. I decided I don't want this anymore.
So now that you have listened to this video, you have watched this video, please pay attention to this and see if you can get a different thing from this recent one and the one you're about to watch now?
These are real miracles. So we kept on doing that to a point where beginning of 2019, end of 2018, I was feeling empty. I was feeling really empty because there's this occultic thing I'm doing. Now, the life that I'm living, I don't like it. I'm on drugs and I'm preaching at the same time. When it comes to alcohol, I'm terrible, you know. When it comes to, I used to spend most of my time here in Johannesburg. I'll come to Joburg, spend the whole weekend partying, Friday, Saturday, partying the whole night. Sunday morning, I'll catch a flight to go and preach in East London in the morning. High on drugs, hangover on alcohol, and I'll go and preach. I started feeling empty. I started feeling, one thing about me, one thing I know is that I think I really have a gift. I think I really have a gift from God. And I started looking back when I started, and all the things that I was doing, everything that I did, the occultic that I entered into, the do as I say that I introduced, where I'll just put the oil on my tongue, and if I tell you sleep, you sleep. If I tell you wake up, you wake up. If I take the towel that is called a do as I say towel, it was a red towel, throw it on you, you pass out. Then I would sell this towel to people. Take this towel, bring money, go and command whatever you want to command, it will come to you. It's a do as I say. You say, it does. You say, it does. If anything, if you want a woman who's been refusing, denying you all these years, just take this oil, put it on your tongue, go and propose again. If you want a car that you've been trying to buy, and look, at times it will happen. People will come back and say, oh yes, it has happened, this and that. So it was just a whole lot of things. You know, the oils that people buy, those are demonic oils. Before those oils are brought to the people, there are enchantments that are done on those oils. There are incantations, there are evil words that are spoken on those oils. Those are very highly demonic oils. And when they come and tell you, this is an anointing oil, you use it on your head, you use it on your body, you're going to be healed. There is nothing like that. You're making your situation even worse than you were. All the water that they will tell you, this is anointed water from Nigeria. TB Joshua, false prophet, is not from God. He's one of the false prophets. Killed a lot of South Africans at the time, you know. There's a building that collapsed in Nigeria. Now, here you don't enter. Let me speak. Don't stop me. You just sit there and watch. There's a building that collapsed in Nigeria. If he was a true prophet, he was going to see that building was going to collapse and he was going to save lives of people. Everything, most of the things that he does, I've exposed him before. There's people who used to work for him. I've brought them to my platform. They've spoken about the mermaids that they would go and swim with. They've spoken about the...
Hold on, hold on, Papa. Excuse the what?
Mermaids, half human, half fish.
Where do they get mermaids?
There's a video that you should watch. It's on my Facebook, I think, or on my YouTube, somewhere there.
Where do they get the mermaids?
Well, as for where do they get the mermaids, I don't know. But this is what the person spoke about. The same way you are talking to me now is the same way that I spoke to somebody who used to work there. And this is exactly how she was explaining things that, look, you would sleep with women before service, you would do this, you would go and swim naked with mermaids, would go and, you know, swim naked in some pools. Afterwards, you go, you know, the miracles, some of the miracles are fake, they are lying and whatnot, just a whole lot of things. But
okay, rewind, Papa, rewind. I want to understand. Who was sleeping with mermaids?
TB Joshua.
In the church or his house? Or
no. The lady didn't specify, but she said in the pool where they went, you know, you'll be there with all these funny human beings there in the pool enjoying himself with them. Then afterwards, he goes to church.
Do you believe that?
Well, you see,
knowing what you know,
yeah.
Do you believe it?
It sounds unbelievable, but knowing what I know, I believed it. That is why I even brought her to come and speak about it, because I believed every word that she said.
And how did you meet this girl?
She contacted me, via social media. She told me she's got a story to tell. I've interviewed a lot of people, by the way. I have interviewed people who were used to fake miracles, people who were used for a lot of things in church, but in the church circles. And in the process, I've acquired a lot of enemies just like you.
Let me breathe for a second. Okay, let's reconvene. Okay. They sleep with mermaids for what?
For power, spiritual power.
How do you breed a mermaid?
Come again?
How do you breed a mermaid?
I think that's a question I would also, like to get answers, too. So, but look, these are things that are happening. The same way you spoke about snakes. Someone will be wondering, how do you breed a snake? How do you sleep with a snake?
But a snake is easy to find. I'm asking this because a mermaid is not an everyday thing. A snake you can find anywhere.
Exactly.
You can go to the zoo, you can go to breeders. There are people who are breeders online. You just buy a snake the same way you buy a dog. They're breeders. So it's an easy thing to find because you see it everywhere.
If I had seen this with my own eyes. But what happened at some point was that I went to Ghana and we went to the sea. When we went to the sea, this is what I saw with my own eyes, not the mermaid that I saw. We went to the sea and there is a woman from the sea that I was supposed to be introduced to, so that I can be married to this woman. And after I'm married to this woman, she was going to become my wife. Meaning to say, she'll be giving me everything that I want in terms of spiritual power, spiritual everything, but she's a woman from the sea. So we went to the sea, we stood by the sea, and then when we go to the sea, there are words that they spoke, words that they spoke, and the waters will come and gather, and everything, words that they spoke. But unfortunately, when the woman appeared, she just appeared for like maybe 5-10 seconds, and then she was gone. And then they told me that no, she has rejected you. This is something that probably some pastors know about. There are pastors who are not married at the age of 30, 35, 40. They're not married. They can never get married because spiritually there's a spiritual marriage that they entered into. It's a covenant that they entered into, a covenant of power, covenant of wealth. You become so wealthy in such a way that you can have anything you want. You drive whatever you want to drive, but you can never get married because that woman is a very jealous woman. The day you get married, she will kill that woman that you will marry. If you try to be in a marriage again, she will kill that woman you want to marry. Hence, most of the men who entered into that covenant, they end up having one night stand, and no matter how much you try to be a good woman to such a man, you can never be a good woman because it is deeper than what you think. It is more spiritual. There's a spiritual covenant that nobody can break. No matter how beautiful, how pretty, even if you can cook the best meal for the man, he will make sure that he doesn't love you. He will just keep you at a distance and call you whenever he wants to sleep with you and give you money and you go your way. Because spiritually, there is a spiritual marriage that is there.
Are you in a spiritual marriage?
No. No, I'm not. Come on, I'm just 27.
No, I'm just fooling around with you because man, oh man. So when you saw this woman, what did you see? What does she look like?
She just came out of the water, long hair, white dress, very beautiful, very, very beautiful woman.
Did you see the fishtail? Was it a mermaid?
No, I did not see. I didn't see the lower part. It was just the upper part that I saw. When she came out of the water, then after some few seconds, she just disappeared back into the water. Then they told me, no, this means that she has rejected you. So you're not yet ready for this level. These things have got levels. You go.
If they had accepted you, what would she have done in that moment if she had accepted you?
They never told me what she would have done, but they told me that if she had accepted you, then you would have been meeting with her. Probably she'll be coming to you at night. In your dreams, when you're sleeping, she'll be coming to sleep with you, but you'll be dreaming of it, but it will be happening in the physical. So when you wake up in the morning, this is actually very real. There are women who are watching now. You go to bed, you sleep, and then when you wake up in the morning, you find your private parts wet, as if something was happening at night, but you were not intimate with anybody. It's spiritual sex. This is something different, but not part of this conversation. So she was going to be coming, sleeping with me at night. Then anytime I want whatever, I'll talk to her. Spiritually, she would make it happen. But the jealous part was what I was warned about, to say you will never get married. If you get married, she will kill that woman.
All right. We are going to analyze the video sequentially, but all in this very episode. I'm not going to do part 1, part 2, part 3, and it's not going to be too long. I just want to say something, because now somebody may say that he was not talking about Mermaid, but the story, the question came from Mermaid. Now, if that is the case, so I know somebody will come to say, but he said that he wasn't so sure if he has seen a mermaid before. So if he wasn't so sure he has seen a mermaid before, that the woman he saw in the sea, according to him, that left for after about 10 seconds, that rejected getting married to him. If that wasn't a mermaid, and he hasn't seen a mermaid, but in the first video you watched, Jay said he got married to a mermaid for 6 years. If he had said for 1 year, now we would think maybe after this interview, he went back to, continuing what he was doing. But since he was for 6 years, that means that all those things were done before he came out to confess. So the question is, which mermaid then that Jay got married to? So I'm actually trying to look at this. The recent videos of Jay is becoming inconsistent. There are still ones that are straight and true about the things he said last. Don't get me wrong, I'm just confused, and I wish that Jay would address it. I wish he will expatiate more on this, because it is actually creating loopholes in his stories. And once there are these loopholes, it will make it almost impossible for people to believe him. So I just want you to, make a comment. What do you think? What do you understand in this? Are they the same thing? The two stories, are they the same? Or is there any kind of misunderstanding or misrepresentation somewhere? I don't know much. I'd like you to tell me what you think about the video in the comment section. I'll be seeing you shortly in the next video. Till then, from me to you, shalom.